So I wanted to start by sharing an experience with you that happened to me this morning. This topic has actually been on my mind a lot lately, and this morning I was laying in bed and it was on my mind, and I was thinking about coming together with more people, just everything that's going on right now. And we're going to talk about this on a few different levels, but of course it's going on throughout the world. It's also going on throughout our nation. It's going on throughout our states, and it just breaks down to our communities, to our neighborhoods, into our churches, into our families. And it's something that's a huge problem right now. I was thinking about this morning, and I was laying there in bed thinking about pride. And I was thinking about, there's got to be a way that we can all come together. There's got to be a way that I can be a part of helping unite more people and just coming together more on an understanding of peace. Just coming together on that common ground that we all just want peace. So I was thinking about that, and my cute little 6-year-old daughter walks into my room and she says, "Mom, will you sign off on my homework today?" And I said, "Oh, that's great. You've been up doing homework this morning. That's awesome. Wonderful for you." So I take her little homework assignment and I look at the bottom, and there, in fact, I took a picture of it. She had to turn it in today, so I couldn't have it here for this video, but I will show you a close-up of that. So I took a picture of this. It was so cute and so innocent. But it says right here, write a sentence using either the word nation or unite, 2 words that she didn't know. And this is what she wrote. She wrote, "We unite the world." Anyways, I just thought that was really cute. And not only was it cute, but it was powerful. And I really believe in divine inspiration. And I truly felt in that moment that I was reading that was a message for me. It was coming through my little girl, my 6-year-old daughter, who had no idea what she had just written. So I asked her, "Hey, Paisley, do you know what that means? Why did you write that?" And she just kind of looked around and she goes, "I don't know." And I said, "Well, do you know what that means?" And she said, "Mm-mm." So she asked me, "Mom, what does that mean? What does unite mean? And why did I write that?" And I told her, unite means come together. So when you wrote unite, we unite the world, you're saying we together, us, we're coming together, we're bringing together the world. And she just thought about that, and a big smile came on her face, and she just walked away. But yeah, I asked her, "So do you know why you wrote that?" And she just said, "No, it just came into my mind when I saw that I needed to write a sentence about that word. That's just what came into my mind." Anyways, so throughout the morning, I'd turn on the radio and they would be talking about uniting the world, coming together. I'd go onto Facebook and I would see things uniting the world, coming together. And I just thought, this is a message for me right now. So if it's a message for me, it's because it's also a message for you, because I'm that mouthpiece. I take everything I feel and I hear and I experience, and I put that into a video for you. So take with it what you will, but I believe that there's something in this message for everyone. So a week ago I was talking with my sister, and she was talking to me about how we were both agreeing about how it just seems like more and more people within our own families, within our own neighborhoods, our own church, all of it, there seems to be a real problem with pride. And now when we think of pride, we think of typical pride. Like, oh, we've seen throughout history and in the scriptures that people who become blessed and become wealthy and prosper, they're lifted up by their own pride, and then they crumble and they fall. So their pride destroys them. And we've seen that happen time and time again throughout history to entire civilizations. And so when we think of pride, we think of, oh yes, when we're doing well and we're successful and we're not humbling ourselves, that's pride. Yes, that's true. But the pride that I want to talk about today is the pride that comes along with criticizing other people and judging, putting people down. And I've talked about this before in other videos, but whenever you do something to bring something down or someone down, you're lowering those vibrations. You're pulling that energy down. And that doesn't do anything good for you, for those around you, and for the entire world. There's no point. So realize the harm and destruction that you're doing when you become one of those active players in that destruction of pride. And you might not think about it, but that's what this video is for, is to bring it to everyone's attention. So my sister and I were talking about how we've just noticed more and more online, just within our own communities, people talking, having conversations. There's a lot of fingers being pointed, a lot of judgment happening, and just a lot of people criticizing others because they don't understand. In all the classes that I teach and everything that I do, I always say, never, never judge anyone. You just don't know. You just don't know. And a lot of times it's our own ignorance that causes us to criticize and judge because there's things we don't understand, or we don't think we need to understand them, or we think that we know better, and we kind of put ourselves up here. We elevate ourselves. And that's what pride is putting yourself above someone else, or in any situation, you're putting someone down here and you're up here. Your ideas are better than theirs. The way you live your life is better than theirs. The way you raise your children is better than theirs. Or you think they know better. They should know better. They should be doing better. Why are they doing the things they're doing? Or why are they online saying those things, or standing up for that, or defending this or that? And the biggest part of it is when you take offense. When you allow yourself to become offended. Being offended is another lowered vibration. Pride is what causes us to be offended. It's a stab at our pride. We put ourselves up here, and when we allow a situation or a person to push us down, then we become offended because our pride has been hurt. But see, if we just eliminate pride altogether, then that's never a problem. So what's the opposite of pride? It's humility. So when we're humble and we just put ourselves at the same level as everyone else, the way that we see those around us, the way that we see everyone in the world, we are equal to them. We are all children of the Lord. We are all one big family. So we should never be putting ourselves up here. No matter how successful we are, or how great we think our ideas are, or how much we contribute to the world, we are no better than anybody else. We are all equal in the eyes of God. So getting that in your mind, putting that concrete in your mind every day, say it over and over, have it be one of your affirmations, that will help you eliminate pride in your own life. And when you eliminate pride in your own life, you can't help but become happier. Because, as I've mentioned before, you vibrate at a higher level. So those frequencies that you send out, those frequencies, that light that's emanating out of you is vibrating at a certain level. And the more good that you do, the more good that comes from you, the higher that light becomes. The brighter it becomes and the higher it vibrates. And when you're vibrating at such a high level, you are attracting similar frequencies to yours. So it's the law of attraction. You're attracting people and things into your life that vibrate at those same frequencies. And so everything around you is great and happy, and you just continue to bless those around you. You become a blessing, not a burden, not a curse. You become a blessing to those around you. And that's what we should all strive for, is how can we be a blessing in this world? How can we contribute? What good can we do? How can we raise our vibration? How can we become a brighter light? So we got to stop looking for ways to put people down. And it's happened to me. I don't talk about it a lot, but it's happened to me. Recently, I get people who find my videos or find my website, and I don't know if it's jealousy or what it is, but I'll get comments of people who are of the same faith that I am. And they'll say, how dare you talk about those things? Or who do you think you are to say those things? What makes you so sure? But I just tell you the things that the Lord presses upon my heart and my mind, that He feels are important for me to share in these videos that I've been prompted to do. You know, when I make these videos, it's a lot of time away from my family and time away from the things that I also need to be doing, and they're free. They're free videos that I just put out on YouTube and on my website, and they're just messages that I feel are really important to share. So really I don't get anything from it other than the peace of mind that I'm doing what the Lord wants me to do. And so I'll get comments from people just saying, who are you to be saying these things and doing these things and building yourself up and lifting yourself up and receiving riches and whatnot. And if you've read my book, Successful Failures, then you know I am not rich. I put everything I get goes right back into what I do. So I never have a penny left over for me. And you'll know that I'll even do yard sales, and I'll do all kinds of things to earn extra money just to support all the fun and crazy projects that I always feel inspired to do. My husband's the breadwinner. He takes care of all that, but anything that I do on the side, it's all me. So everything that comes in through anything that I do, it all goes right back into what I do. So that's just how it's always been for me. But that's okay. I don't feel the need to defend myself, because I feel like being on the defense is just another mechanism of pride. If you feel like your pride's been hurt, then you feel the need to go out and defend yourself, and that always creates contention, and it becomes a power struggle. Who's right? Who's wrong? Who's more justified? So that's just an area that I stay away from. But yeah, I get it. I get criticism all the time, and in the past I've learned, and that's why I'm grateful for it. You've got to be grateful for opposition. You just have to be. You have to be grateful for your trials, because those mistakes, those trials, those areas of opposition, those become our greatest teachers. And that has rang true for me so many times. So I'm grateful for it. And in the past, there were times when I would get sad, because it was criticism that came from those who I love and admire, and people within my own family, and it hurt. But then I had to take a step back and say, well, why is this hurting? Well, it's because I've got pride. So I've learned over the years, and it's a trial and error type of thing, but we're all in the same boat. You've just got to eliminate that pride altogether, because it's not going to do anything good for you or your happiness. So that's what my message is today. My message today is about humility, just getting more humility in your life. Being humble and having humility puts you at such a higher vibration. Your light just becomes so much brighter, and those fiery darts from the adversary don't stick. They don't burn, they don't cause damage, they just kind of bounce right off. And that's what you want. And there is power in humility. There is power in that. So remember that. So this message, I just want to end with this message of coming together. Like my daughter said in her own words, we unite the world. So let that be your thought for today. Let that kind of just linger on your mind, and go deep with that. Reflect on it later, meditate on it, pray about it, think about it when you're driving or you have some quiet time, but think about it. How can we, you and I, unite the world? Well, I'll tell you what, it all starts with you. It starts right with you, in your home, with your family, and it just spreads from there. No more tearing the world apart. No more, let's not be a part of tearing people down. There's too much of that going on in the world right now. Too much division. Division in communities and cities and schools and in churches and just in general. The adversary just wants to divide us all up and show us how different we are, and we're all at these different levels, and we're better than other people, and we have to be put into these groups and be labeled and be given names and told who we are, and that just creates contention. There's nothing good that comes from that. But there is power in uniting. There is power in coming together in large numbers. There is no power in being separated and scattered and divided. And the adversary knows that. So what better way to get rid of our power than to divide us all up and confuse us and have us angry at each other and nitpicky over the littlest things and being offended and looking for ways to attack each other? Nothing good comes from that. That takes away your power. So if you want to be proactive and make a difference in the world, look for ways to unite everyone around you. We've just got to start coming together. We just have to. We've got to look for more ways to unite, to come together, to have things in common. And that all stems from humility. So humble yourself. Look for any areas in your life where you just have a tad bit of pride. And it's always easy to point that out in others, but sometimes it's difficult to see it in yourself. But everyone has it. So look for where you have it and try to work on that. Eliminate that pride. Bring people together. It will happen, and there is power in that. So there's a couple of scriptures that go perfect with this message today. And there was a strict command throughout all the churches that there should be no persecutions among them, that there should be an equality among all men, that they let no pride nor haughtiness disturb their peace, that every man should esteem his neighbor as himself, laboring with their own hands for their support. Perfect with today's message. When you esteem everyone as your neighbor, you see everyone you come across as your neighbor, and we're told to love thy neighbor as thyself. So if we start doing that, we can't help but be a uniting people, a people that comes together. Doctrine and Covenants, section 98. If you have the time, I suggest you read the entire section of 98. It is powerful. It's wonderful. So the part that I'm going to focus on starts in verse 20. For they do not forsake their sins and their wicked ways, the pride of their hearts and their covetousness and all their detestable things, and observe the words of wisdom and eternal life which I have given unto them. Verily I say unto you, this is 21, that I the Lord will chasten them, and will do whatsoever I list, if they do not repent and observe all things whatsoever I have said unto them. And he goes on to talk about this law, and he says that this is a law that has been given to many of the prophets throughout time, and he lists the prophets that he's given this law to. And this law is to proclaim peace and not war. And war is not the Lord's way. And he says in here, the only time war should be proclaimed is if it's his will, if he commands it, if it comes straight from the Lord himself. But peace should always be the goal. Peace should always be proclaimed first, time and time again. And so I apply that, though he's talking about a bigger picture here, peace among the nations, peace among civilizations. I can apply this, and I know you can too, into your own life. Peace among your neighbors. Don't go off looking for ways to have war with your neighbors. War with the lady that offended you on the internet. War with your coworkers who get on your nerves, and just all these little ways that we go to war with those around us. War is not the Lord's way. That's the adversary's way. Peace is the Lord's way. Verse 23, Now I speak unto you concerning your families. If men will smite you or your families once, and ye bear it patiently, and revile not against them, neither seek revenge, ye shall be rewarded. But if ye bear it not patiently, it shall be accounted unto you as being meted out as a just measure unto you. And he goes on and says, if your enemy smites you a second time and a third time, he just continues to say, be patient with it. Be patient. Don't seek war. Don't seek revenge. Don't attack. Be patient. Trust the Lord. And he goes on to talk about your rewards and what he will do for you in that situation. But that's just it. That's where our faith lies. We have to always remember that the Lord has our back. We are his people. And when we're doing what he wants us to do, it's just the law of the universe. It's his own law. He is bound to keep his promises. He is bound to be there for us. And we are bound to be blessed. So we have to remember that he has our back. As we strive to keep these laws and live these principles of humility and peace, that's the natural order. It's a natural way of the universe. Those are God's laws. Then we will see wonderful things happen within our own life and in our own communities. And that's when you're going to see real change happen. The change comes from the Lord. He is the master and creator of change. He has his own way of orchestrating certain things to happen so that change can happen, so that his will can come to pass. We have to trust that he's the one in control. He's the one in charge, not us. So remembering that and putting your faith in him will help you eliminate that pride and that desire and those feelings to have to get revenge and have to be right and have to be in control and all those things that come from the adversary. So remember peace and humility and uniting. You cannot go wrong if you make that your goal. So that is my message for you today, and I know you can do it. For more tips, ideas, and videos on how to be happy, you can visit my website at yourhappylady.com. You can also follow me on my YouTube channel under Happy Marriages, and that is all one word. Thank you so much. I look forward to hearing from you and talking to you, and We will see you soon.